Welcome back to Excel Shorts in iSelf Academy and Excel Snippet YouTube channel. We are in a string of different operations in Excel. Again, I'm building these videos for our dsum functionality. This is our last improviser or maybe a data preparation video that we are about to do. So the last logic that we are about to see right now is we are about to work on conditional formatting. Why in the world that I'm using conditional formatting in here is the conditional formatting will be a visual cue for our data set, which will make our life a little more easier here. Again, now I'm about to use whatever we have built so far in our entire data set. So now this is the last Excel sheet that I've built earlier, where I have used a slicer and as well as a subtotal functionality to check whether our answers are correct or not. So again, if you're using slicer, one more time I want to give you an head start on it. So you have to have a version of 2010 version and above. In 2007 version we don't have slicers here. So let's see how to do that. So what I am about to, or how I'm going to use the conditional formatting. Before that, I need a formula to build here. So I've just created a small list here. I say that I want to just find out the total sales done in the district called Ariyalur, and which is I want to give as a sum total sales is how much, what is the number of sales and an average sales here. So to do this, as we all know that we are building this program for a longer time now, so I will add all the other previous video links if you want to know how to create a table, how to create a name manager, and then how to use them in tandem. I will add all the 3 links in the description video below, or you will see an iCard above. iCard will give you the previous video, not all the other videos which I just said a while ago. So I'll be adding that in the description. So the previous video for this will be the subtotal and slicer, which will be added in our iCard above. So let's see, without further ado, let's get into the data. So I'm going to use a SumIf functionality. Hope you guys know what a SumIf functionality is all about. I've created a name manager here, so this will make my life a little more easier to do the rest of the list. I want to take all the districts first. So now I have the districts with me, and I would like to know the district criteria here. So if I have not created the district criteria, I will select the Ariyalur here separately, or else I will just create a term called criteria here. So now I'm going to select this and add the name manager for us. So I'm going to create a selection and then I'll give an OK. So now I'll be having the following list here. So when I go for SumIf functionality, the range will be the district and the criteria will be district criteria, and the sum range has to be the sales. When I move the close bracket and give an enter, that's going to give you the total sum of that particular region here. And if you want to make sure that the data set comes properly for you, then you can just change that to a specific order here. So I want to keep this format for the average sales also. So if you want to just redo this, you can just copy paste this and then start working on the other formulas. But again, as we have everything on a tabular form, so I don't want to really work on it. So I'm going to just say COUNTIF functionality, and then I'll say district and then the district criteria here. Close the bracket and give an enter, and I'm going to find out the average sales here. So again, I'm going to go for the averages. Again, a district, the same condition I'm doing it, but I'm adding it in different formulas here to get a different result altogether for me. So, and if I want to see all these dimensions one by one, then I'll use formula text as a formula to check what is the formula that I wrote inside this result. And if you closely watch, this particular formula will available only in AFS 2013 version and above. So if you're using any other dimension other than this, probably you may not get the formula text here. You have to manually copy paste it. So I'm about to use the formula text again for the COUNTIF and the formula text for the average. So this is the formula that I've used for each and every dimension, as we are building this formula using a table range and a name range here. So that allows me to make this data dynamic. If I add a new data below for a specific district, then automatically that value will change or update in my formula by default. Now the real agenda for this particular program is I want to create a conditional formatting so that you visually see what happens in the data set here. Again, in a previous video I've built this dimension, so let me just redo the entire dimension one more time. So I'm going to just copy paste all these dimensions once, and then I'm going to change the number below. I'm going to just call this as 9, 1 and 2 because I want to keep the order in the same pattern. So now I'll place the cursor in my sum answer and with the total sales here. Then I go to conditional formatting and use the new rule here. In the new rule I'm going to use the last line to format the cell. I'm going to just say equals if this data set is equal to the one above. You can choose anything that you want, so I think that I missed the equal symbol here, so I'm going to just drag this up. So I'm going to just say if this is equal to this. Again, if you're using only one cell references, so don't worry about it. You don't want to worry about the cell references in here. Go back to the formula and then you can add the fill whatever you feel is relevant here. So I normally use the background color and a font color here, and then I'm going to repeat the same process for the average here. So let me just rename the entire dimension again. Sorry about that. So I'm cutting and pasting it. So now I got the same order, and I'm going to repeat the same functionality for the next two dimensions also. So you can take whichever one which you want to feel that is relevant for you. You can pick up that as your base, and then you can start working with data there. The same way, the last and the final formula is also going to be added with conditional formatting here. So now this will make my life a little more easier. So now I want to find out the average sales, number of sales and total sales of Arelu districts. So I'll just move the left hand side data. Let me just make this data a little smaller so that I can see all my answers together here. The moment I click the slicer here, that's going to showcase the colors that I've added to my list here. This will visually tell me whether my answer is correct or not. So by this way, the advantage that I have is I don't want to literally count or read those data whether it is correct or not. So the visual coloring will make my life a little more easier. You can do coloring in a much more different way altogether. You can use a data bar or a color scale, icon sets, whatever you want to add here, you can add them in this list. So I've just created a very normal coloring pattern that will allow us to build the data set here. So this is how we will use our list. And then if you are making these changes to something else, so for example I'm going to just pick up Chengalpattu and then add them here, the answer will automatically change. And then the moment I select this, that's going to tell you the correct answer, because the answers are not changing here because I'm picking up only from one column. So my data set will be perfectly right here. The summation valuation, the count and the average might change based on the overall sales that has happened here. The moment I unfilter the slices, all my answers will be back to normal and the coloring will disappear automatically. So this is how we will do our pre-work for our conditional formatting, and the conditional formatting will allow us to find out, or it will give you a visual cue how or whether the answer is right or not. So initially when you're working on some ifs and counters, you may love to check your answer whether it is right or wrong. After a point of time, you know that you're working. Generally, if you're working in a particular data set, probably you will have the figures already. You're only making sure that you are giving the right answers to the next person who reads this report, and this report will become more dynamic for him as the data are newly added. As anything that is adding newly will all automatically get updated in this list by default. This is Vinod signing off from myself Academy and Excel Snippet YouTube channel. This is our last prep video for our dsum. The dsum function will come up next. In dsum you will see all the videos that I have done as the data preparation video earlier. So you'll get all of them in the description link. Few of them will come, the previous video or this conditional formatting video will be in the iCard of our DSM for us. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend ahead.